Hello everyone. Those of you who have been watching this channel and have been watching my videos will undoubtedly know that I love the English language. And so I thought it was about time that I tried to tell you why. So here's 7 reasons why I absolutely love English, in no particular order. I would have to start off with a reference to its vocabulary. Reputedly and arguably, English has the largest vocabulary of any language in the world. There are all kinds of guesses, and they usually range between 300,000 or 400,000 and 1,000,000 words. It all depends how you count them, of course. Do you count the different meanings of one particular word as different words or not? There's all different ways of counting the words. But if you go to any reputable dictionary, an unabridged dictionary, normally you'll have around 300,000 entries in there. Again, it's not clear what exactly an entry is. Is only an entry counted as a word or not? But anyway, English has an enormous vocabulary. One of the reasons for that is that it's a language that has a dual origin. It's both a Germanic language, but it also is, at least partly, a Romance language. Definitely, as far as vocabulary is concerned, so many words come from French originally, so it's a combination. It's a Germanic and a bit of a Romance language as well. Second reason, English has always been and continues to be very open to outside influences. It's not one of those languages that tries to protect itself, to not allow any influences from outside. No, English has always been very open to those influences. And according to me, that makes it a wonderful language. English has never hesitated to adapt any vocabulary from any language that was on offer. Third reason, and that's maybe linked up with the second one, English is also very flexible in the way it uses the language, the way it uses words. It's very adaptive. If only you could think of the change in word categories that you very often see in English. In one of my earlier videos, we had that as an example to pocket. A pocket, everybody knows a pocket, but that can easily be made into a verb, to pocket, to put something into a pocket. And that's only one of the things that English does in order to enrich itself, to be very flexible. One example is years back now, when mega started to be used in English. Mega as a kind of affix, a prefix to mean very big. Well, almost immediately people also started to use it as a verb. I heard someone say, oh, that tea is absolutely megaed, meaning it had been left too long. It was too strong. So to mega immediately became a verb, to overdo something, to make too big. And as such, that means that English is really a living language that changes from day to day. And that certainly makes it a favorite for me. Then, reason number 4 is that the language is inextricably linked with the culture. British culture, but also Anglo-Saxon culture in general. For instance, think of that stereotypical idea of the British as having a stiff upper lip. Well, that is so easily expressed in English because of its ability to be so good with understatement. rather than saying that it's very cold, you might hear people saying, well, it's a bit nippy, it's a bit chilly. That understatement goes so well with the culture. Reason number 5 why I really love English is because of its wide variation. You really can't talk of English as just one language, indivisible, unchangeable. No, you have so many different Englishes. There's the standard varieties, and we immediately think of British English and American English, but don't forget Irish English, Scottish English, Indian English, so many different Englishes in Africa, for instance, where different countries have made English a standard language also. But not only do you have those standard varieties, you also have different regional varieties then. And if I can speak for Britain, in Britain people are not afraid to use those regional varieties also. For instance, on BBC television you will regularly hear journalists unashamedly using their regional varieties. Apart from standard varieties and regional varieties, there's also so many local varieties, local dialects. And then you've got all the sociolects, meaning different languages used by different groups in society. They all have their own take on English, or rather on different Englishes. 6, there is literature. You can hardly think of English without thinking of English literature. And what can I say? There's such an enormous variety there, an enormous choice, an enormous number of genres in English literature. The only downside is that it can be a bit frustrating. It can be very hard to try to keep up with literature in English. But that only makes it more challenging and so much more interesting. And finally, number 7, and maybe for me the most important reason why I love English, it's because of its quirkiness. There are so many strange things in English, so many quirks. For instance, think of its crazy spelling. You all know that there's hardly any link between pronunciation and spelling in English. Why? Well, because its spelling has historical, etymological origins that people have stuck to rather than changing the spelling to go with its pronunciation. So that crazy spelling, however hard that may be, it also attracts me. Then there are other things that are so crazy in English, so silly. For instance, the plural of mouse is mice. So you might expect the plural of house to be huis, but yeah, obviously it's not, it's houses. The plural of foot is feet. So actually the plural of book should be beak, but it isn't, it's books. And there are untold examples of that, of plurals on their own. Which other language would accept that flammable means exactly the same as inflammable, even though the in suffix normally means it's the opposite? But no, in English, flammable and inflammable mean exactly the same. Or think of a combination of different words with different pronunciations, or the same pronunciation but with different meanings. I'm thinking of the desert, yeah, lots of sand, the desert, and then spelt in exactly the same way but with the different pronunciations, to desert someone. But then that pronunciation, dessert, can also be spelt differently with 2 S's, meaning then sweet things to eat after a main meal, a dessert. I mean, what can you say? That does make a language interesting, doesn't it? And that's one of the main reasons why English is so close to my heart. It's quirkiness. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please give me a like. Please don't hesitate to subscribe or to leave a comment. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.